Hey guys, I got a pretty strong build to show, but before I move on, I have to kind of warn you because it may drive you insane trying to get everything you need for this build because I am using 6 unique items, so I'm only left with 4 rares to kind of manage my resistances, accuracy, phys reflect, enough life, enough dex and int, and all that stuff. The main focus I wanted to get as much rage as possible, and I end up with 115 rage Berserker, and I also wanted to experiment with the Berserker's Defy Pain, because Defy Pain, like if you ever tried it, you probably thought that this is the silliest node ever, because gain Defiance for 10 seconds on losing life to an enemy hit, and it stacks up to 10. Each Defiance stack gives you 25% increased armor. You also get 50% maximum, you basically get more maximum leech cap rate. It doesn't stack per defiance, but as long as you have defiance you get more leech. But also at 10 defiance stacks you take reflect physical damage equal to maximum life and then lose defiance stacks. So basically if you got 6000 life at 10 stacks, if you get hit 10 times fast enough, you're gonna get hit by 6000 reflected physical damage, and that can just instantly kill you. However, you can mitigate the reflect physical damage taken as a berserker. That does require quite a bit of investment, especially because I'm also using Abyssus, because why not? Berserker and Abyssus, why not take more physical damage? However, you're gonna be surprised that this character actually haven't died that much. I died a couple times to trying out the science, trying out a reflect map, trying to figure out how much damage would I take, and yeah. I actually can do reflect maps, however some of the modifiers, like if I'm standing on shock ground, I will still take reflect damage because the way increased damage taken works and reduced reflect damage taken kind of counters each other. So because I'm using Abyssus, I need over 100 and, well, this Abyssus has 42% increased physical damage taken, so I need at least 142% reduced reflected physical damage taken. By the way, armor does not mitigate the reflect damage for some reason. So I do have Fortify, which does mitigate reflect damage. I also recently decided to get endurance charges as well. I do have leech, so I can survive pretty well with this build, surprisingly. So I'm gonna show a couple of clips. I refunded the Defy Pain and just went full damage. One of the map I did with the Blitz charges for maximum attack speed is just absolutely insane speed. And Lacerate, let's not forget that Lacerate has 60% base attack speed, so it is much slower than our skills. So I'm actually getting over 10 attacks per second, but that's with just one slash, and I'm also using multi-strike, and also got the Savior Swords to proc even more, well, things on the screen. By the way, Savior Sword is not really mandatory. I was playing with Varunastra before that, and currently Savior is not calculating in PUB, so in PUB you're only gonna see the damage without the 2 Mirages. In the end, with the Defy Pain, I had over 6 million DPS. That is before Mirage Warriors and also before clicking Berserk. With Blitz charges you can get over 7 million DPS, and I tried with the aspect of Carnage because yeah, let's take even more damage. And aspect of Carnage is just absolutely insane. I was getting over 9 million DPS, not counting Mirage Warriors and not counting Berserk. So I'm gonna show you clips. Maybe first I'm gonna show you how the Blitz charges look like. The speed is pretty insane, but it doesn't feel that great because you still need to hit enemies multiple times to kill them, so it doesn't feel that great. And also with the Blitz charges you are losing critical strike chance, so I was getting around 55% critical strike chance with the Blitz charges. But if you are addicted to speed and you want to be moving fast, especially with the leap slam, you can become super fast. And also, before you ask, yes, you can use different weapons. I am using Yugul Savagery and the Savior Sword, or you could use Varunastra instead of Savior Sword, or you could try to craft a rare weapon, but good luck getting a better rare weapon. Also, there's quite a lot to mention about this build, and I don't know how to make this short, so as always check timestamps if you want to jump to a certain part of the video. Now I want to also show you how the aspect of Carnage looks like. You're gonna see I managed to defeat Phoenix in like 3 seconds. And actually it felt even better, and I think it's because basically obliterating enemies in 1 or 2 slashes, and it feels smoother because I don't have to stop and attack even more times. So it feels even faster clear speed even if I had less attack speed. But also I was skipping ultimatums most of the time because it's just scary. I do have quite a lot of armor, but it's not enough. And this is level 90 right now. If you like reach level 93, you can get close to 6k HP, and you can still fine-tune this build a lot more. I actually spent quite a lot trying to get the right jewel. I wasted around 7 exalts trying to get a jewel, and I ended up with like 40k jewel. I just gave up. So the build is not too expensive. I'm using like a 6-link build of the beast, which was like 2 exalts. Then the helmet enchantment on Abyssus maybe 1 exalt. Saver was I believe 65 years. Corrupted 2-socket Tom Fist. I wanted more base crit chance. That's the only reason why I got the corrupted one. But I also needed at least 5 Murderous Eye jewels, because I am using Tekrod's Gaze unique jewel, which does give me crit chance to main hand and crit multi to offhand, and it stacks up to 5 jewels. So it was kind of difficult to also squeeze in other jewels, because I wanted the Watcher's Eye. I also wanted the small cluster jewel to generate endurance charges. I also got pretty cool Lethal Pride jewel, which basically gives me a bit more critical strike chance. And if you level up a bit more, it can also give you, well, in this case, double damage. I did modify this jewel in Path of Building so you can see what it actually gives me. So for example, here it gives a 30% critical strike chance. In here as well, a 30% melee critical strike chance. I am also getting increased effect of Fortify, and I do have like Fortify effect. So it's not too squishy build. So this mitigation is with the Molten Shell. If you turn off Molten Shell, so you can see I have around 38,000 effective HP against physical hits. That is at 9 Defiance stacks and 46k against elemental hits. Maybe I should explain how to reduce the physical reflect damage taken. First of all, on the passive skill tree, there are 3 nodes. If you take these 3, you're gonna have 60% reduction. Then you can also take the Pantheon power, this one. You're gonna add another 25, so you're gonna have 85%. You still need a lot more if you're gonna be using Abyssus. So there's also a ring mod. You and your minions take reduced reflected physical damage. This is on the, I believe on Hunters or on Elders ring, but I got the Hunters ring. Also weird thing, I am using Beer's Girdle, and you can use physical catalyst to increase the 6% increased physical damage per 10 rage up to 7%. But the same catalyst doesn't work on this mod, on reflected physical damage, because it also has physical tag, but it just doesn't work for this for some reason, which is weird. Now you can also get implicit on jewels to reduce the reflect physical damage, and the implicit is 10% reduced reflect physical damage taken, and you can, I got lucky and got this on the cluster jewel, but you can get it on pretty much any jewel. A bit difficult, but you're gonna have to get that, because like I said, if you're standing on shock ground, that I believe is 50% increase damage taken overall. So that's gonna counter the reduced reflect physical damage taken. There are a couple other things that could increase that. I'm not entirely sure what else, like some debuffs, like I believe vulnerability would increase it, but I got curse removal. There may be some other debuffs like aspect of the spider. I'm not sure if enemies have the same one, but that could also increase it. So you have to be aware of that, and you can do physical reflect maps. I did that, but if you get shocked, but if enemy hits you and shocks you, then you're gonna kill yourself. I wouldn't recommend running physical reflect, but I'm just saying that it is possible. So I'm gonna talk about my items, but as always I'm gonna include path of building in board code in the description, so you can just see the build. But like I said, it's gonna be difficult if you want to copy this build exactly. By the way, I spent like 2 days video crafting all sorts of builds until I decided to play with this build, and then spent like 2 days leveling this build and hating myself for doing that, because the leveling was so bad. I had no damage, I was just sort of tanky, and that's about it. And also then spend 5 hours straight up just trying to match the items so I can at least do maps, because I got the tailwind boots and I don't want to change that. That leaves me with only 3 items to cap my resistances, get enough accuracy, get enough dexterity and intelligence for all the other items, and also get the reduced reflect physical damage and also assassin spark, because my skill bar is already filled up with way too many things to click. By the way, how to get How to get rage at the start of the map. Basically, I weapon swap into Brightbeak with any shield. You may actually need intelligence, so I crafted intelligence on the shield. You swap to Brightbeak, you have in the Brightbeak, let's say chain hook linked with life tap so you don't run out of mana and faster attacks. And then you also have Hydra Sphere with increased duration. So I summon Ancestral Protector because the debuff gives a lot of attack speed and I have Anointment for more. Summon that, I drop Hydra Sphere and then I swing at the Hydra Sphere for like 10 seconds. Keep swinging, and as you can see it ramps up faster and faster. At 90 rage, that's your maximum rage without this Yugul Savagery. Then you stop and then you can map. So it's not too bad, you spend like 10 seconds. However, I didn't really do Cirrus because I know that I will not be able to do it deathless, and if I die I will have to ramp up rage again, and the rage degens you until you start losing rage. So it just I don't want to put myself through that torture. So items. Yugul Savagery gives you 25 to maximum rage while wielding a sword. So the other weapon has to be a sword. And by the way, you don't have to use Lacerate. You could actually go with pretty much any other skill that can be used with Access. And instead of Savior, you could use Varanastra, and then you could go with the Ground Slam, which would actually have even more DPS. Well, more DPS compared to the base Savior damage, not counting the Savior Mirages. So Yugul Savagery, then Abyssus. I tried getting Abyssus with the Berserker, has 40% reduced rage loss per second, but I almost never use Berserk. And if you use Berserk, you're gonna lose all the rage and you're gonna have to ramp it up again. So I only use Berserk if I know that I can burst down bosses and not worry about generating rage again. Then Savior Sword. Savior, like I said, wasn't that expensive, like 65 gears for a decent rolled one. Bell of the Beast was around 2 exalts, 2.3 exalts for a 6 link with also pretty decent rolls. You don't need the belt enchantment, but it does help. I got some help with the belt enchantment. Basically, I bought the belt, I gave the offerings, and the person just got lucky and hit the recover 2% life when you kill an enemy while you have rage on the first try. So there's that. Now Beer's Girdle gives 20 maximum rage as well, and also 6% increased physical damage per 10 rage, and since you are stacking so much rage, you are getting a lot of damage from this. Like I said, you can also catalyst with physical and Hero's Catalyst, and that will boost the flat damage and the percentage increased physical damage per 10 rage, which I don't know, maybe it's a bug because like I said, on the ring it did not increase the reflect mitigation. Got Tom Fist to suck a Tom Fist because like I said, you need enough Murderous Eye Jewels for the unique one to have full effect. Then one of the rings, Dex Int. I'm not gonna go over all of my items. You can see, but basically I had to get enough dexterity, intelligence, life, resistances, accuracy, and I really wanted the increased AoE on the amulet. So my amulet looks kind of weak, but it works for me, and I like the AoE. I am using one large cluster jewel, and the main thing that I wanted was Devastator, but I'm not sure if it is worth it. You could get a much better jewel. Devastator just gives you a chance to explode enemies on kill. Sometimes explodes the whole pack, but I don't know if you need it. If you get enough AoE, you probably shouldn't need it, especially if you got Savior Swords. You can just get any better mods. However, I can't even replace this because then I would not have enough fire resistance. Like if I show you this, I have 77 fire res and 78 lighting, so I'm just barely capping it. So the passive 3, as you can see, Impale, getting Impale, getting more rage, getting Impale, getting phys reflect, leech here. You actually, if you want more leech, I initially went here, pick up the mana leech, pick up the more maximum leech rate, and I did not have mana leech on the ring. So if you cannot get mana leech on the ring, you would lose just a tiny bit of damage, like 1 or 200k DPS, but you would get a lot more maximum leech, which may actually feel better for extra 1 point. Now, our links, Lacerate is linked with Impale, Life Tap, Fortify, Brutality, and Multistrike. Now, Life Tap is not the best support gem, but you're gonna run out of mana no matter what if you do not use Life Tap, especially with that crazy attack speed. Then I got Ancestral Protector, linked with Val Ancestral Warchief, linked with Multi-Totems and Maim. Then Leaf Slam with Culling Strike and Life Tap again. Dread Banner. Ice Golem is not needed, actually I'm not using it anymore because I previously was using Ice Golem and I had Cast and Damage Taken Molten Shell, but I replaced, like why was I doing that, I'm not sure. So now Molten Shell is on the left click, so it always procs it. Then like I said, Pride, Blood and Sand, Precision and Enlighten level 3 to squeeze. Actually you don't really need that. Actually you don't need Enlighten, I guess. And also Berserk. I'm not sure if you want Berserk, you can use it, but you don't really need it. And yeah, that's pretty much covers the build. So I haven't planned the next build yet, so I'm not sure what I'm gonna be doing. I kind of want to do Ballista Totems with the LA Hit and Barrage support because it looks so cool like a laser. So we'll see what the next build is gonna be like. I haven't planned, so it may take a bit longer until my next video. So for now, thank you for watching and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.